Everyone felt timid when they saw the Scar woman being so cruel, but the old Mrs. Wilson was very happy. Anyway, as long as she saw Elaine being beaten, she felt very happy. Wendy also felt that this was really hateful. After seeing Elaine suffered so many beatings, she didn't have the energy to slap her. A slap directly knocked her to the ground. This is the power that ordinary people can't have. Elaine was scared to death. Being beaten is not a big problem for her, because she has not been beaten less in the past 2 days, and she has already practiced. But the key is that she doesn't know why this Scar woman hit her. Is she a member of that transnational fraud group, came to ask herself to settle accounts? Just when Elaine was terrified, Jenna said to the scared woman with a face, "Eldest sister, we are not familiar with this woman. If you want to beat her, you can beat her. It doesn't matter if you kill her, but we still have to run. Do you think we can keep running?" The Scar woman snorted coldly and said, "I don't care if anyone waits, get out of me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being polite." Jenna hurriedly waved and shouted, "Sisters, come and run with me. 121, 121. People in the same cell hurriedly followed her and yelled chants. People in the 20s yelled 121 and hurried away. Only the 3 women and Elaine remained at the scene. Elaine was so frightened that she blurted out and asked, "Sister, where did I provoke you? At least tell me." Scar woman kicked Elaine's belly, and she was clutching her belly and wailing on the ground. Then, she took out a black bank card from her pocket and asked, "Elaine, you look up, do you recognize this card?" As soon as Elaine looked up, her heart was shocked. This card is so special. How could she not recognize it? It is exactly the same as the card stolen from Charlie. These 3 people are indeed from the fraud gang? In the morning, didn't the police still tell her that they didn't find a clue? Why are 3 accomplices caught now? These 3 women even knew that they were 80% here to settle their accounts, and it is possible that they caused them to go to jail. It's over now, they won't get angry and kill her? He was obviously going to be released soon. Wouldn't it be too miserable if someone killed him at this time? "So," she said with tears and nose bleeding, "I really don't recognize this bank card. Did you recognize the wrong person? Admit it? Are UFC King kidding me?" The Scar woman grabbed Elaine's hair, slapped her face with a slap, and said, "Do you know why the 3 of us came in? It's because of you, a woman, attracted the police and killed the 3 of us. Being arrested, let me tell you, the 3 of us are likely to be sentenced to life imprisonment, and this is all you're doing." Elaine cried out, "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I am also a victim. I don't know that there are so many things behind that card." Scar woman looked at her and shouted angrily at the 2 people around her, "Damn, give me a hard hit," and beat her half to death. Anyway, she will be locked in for more than 10 or 20 years, and we will do it every day. Beat her twice to relieve our anger. When will she be killed, and then will it be finished? When the other 2 women heard this, they rushed forward, and the 3 of them punched and kicked Elaine together. The fists and big feet greeted Elaine frantically, as if she didn't want money, and Elaine kept calling out. In fact, these 3 people were sent by Isaac to teach Elaine, in order to convince Elaine that she was in great trouble. In this way, after she was released, she wouldn't dare to fall out with Charlie. At this time, Elaine was beaten and rolled back and forth on the ground, screaming and begging for mercy endlessly. The others were still running, but when they heard this scream, they stopped and observed at them from a distance, all in shock. Although Jenna also beat Elaine, she was not as cruel as the 3 of them. It was almost as if beaten to death. It can be seen that these 3 people must not be ordinary people. Oh, it's so miserable, so miserable. Jenna couldn't help sighing. This Elaine, it's really a thumping woman. I sympathize with her a little bit. And the old Mrs. Wilson saw that Elaine was beaten so badly, she immediately laughed on the side, and laughed loudly. "It's great, beat this shrew to death, beat her so hard that she can't speak with her broken mouth." Wendy also clapped vigorously and smiled. "Hit. Hit it hard. Pump her face. Smash her broken face. At this time, the Scar woman saw that Elaine was almost beaten, and then she said, "Okay, leave this dog, or if she is killed now, who will be beaten for the next 20 years? Why are you venting?" The two stopped now. Elaine's nose and face were swollen, and she fell to the ground and kept screaming, feeling that she had only one breath left. Scar woman walked up to her and said coldly, "I tell you, your good days are still early. This is the end of your low hands. Wait, I will let you not survive, but you cannot die." Elaine burst into tears with fright. The suffering that Charlie's premium card brought to her was even more tragic than the 99981 difficulties that Thompson Sang took from the scriptures. From the time she stole that card to the present, besides being beaten, nothing else has happened. She was hungry after she was beaten, she was frozen when she was hungry, she was poured with cold water, and poured in cold water when she was completely frozen, and slept in the toilet. This is simply a scene of human tragedy. When the Scar woman saw Elaine lying on the ground and crying, she kicked her and snorted coldly, cry again, and I will break your teeth."